Page 94, Day-O, a banana boat song. I'm going to offer some suggestions on this one. First, I want to talk about the fingering in the right hand. Got a lot of repeated notes, and you know I would prefer to use different fingers on them if possible, and it's possible on most of these. The first line, for instance, there on the third measure, C's. I would go a 2-1 for the first two C's, and then for the E's I go a 4-3-2. That's how I would do it. Same thing, one line down. Same thing. Then for the last measure it's a 1-2-1. And you get this pattern, these repeated E's like this throughout. So I would do the same fingering throughout. Bottom of page 94. First measure in the right hand you have here. I would finger it 1-2-1 is fine. And then a 1-3-2. This is not a real fast piece, but it's not slow either, and so if you can, it's just a little easier to use different fingers. Top of page 95, second measure, those F's, no, I prefer a 3-4-5 on those repeated F's. To me that's easier, but I'm used to doing this, so you have to get used to it. At first it's going to be a little awkward. I would encourage you to work on it because it really helps later on when the music does get difficult. Third line down on page 95. In the right hand you got these triplets, okay? Triplets should not be a problem. I count them as a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 rather than 1 and 2 and. It's 1 and a 2 and a 3. So it's 1. Okay, you can work on it. Again, this is one of those sequence. We have and this is a descending sequence. It's going down. What it is a pattern of notes, and the pattern repeats itself going down the keyboard. So you got this note, then this one, and this one, and this one. That's a sequence. Okay, we try and use the same fingering for each pattern, each iteration of the sequence. So it's you're starting out with fourth finger. Just to get you started, okay? Ideally it would be third finger. 3, 1, 4, 3, 1. Now at the end, that last that F, the last triplet, I recommend the fifth finger on that because that sets you up for what's coming. Right. Now, two ways of fingering that last measure in the third line down. You can do what they've got is fine. If you put your fifth finger on the F, the last note in the previous measure, then it's fourth finger on the E, then 2, 1, 2. It's fine. I don't like their fingering at all. Or, if you're doing the arpeggios, this is a good idea. Got to get your fingers to spread out. You have your fifth finger on the F, the last note of the previous measure, all right, and then in that last measure on the third line, it's to be a 4, 3, 2, 1. Fits very nicely. All right, you just got to spread the fingers out, but yeah, you need to learn to do that anyway, so go for it. That's the fingering I recommend. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. You're not crossing over anything. And the last two lines are repeated. You got a first and second ending, and okay, you get all that. The left hand is keeping the beat, and this is important. That beat's got to be strong. Of course, it's not keeping the beat when it's whole notes, but most of the time it's just keeping a steady beat. Make sure you do that, okay? You can separate the notes too. Don't play them staccato, but you can separate them. There's no pedal in any of this because it's be out of context for this piece. So the right hand has some weird rhythms going on. The left hand's got to stay steady no matter how weird the right hand gets, and that's the challenge, to get them together. You probably have to practice the right hand quite a bit by itself to get the rhythm. Let's say, for instance, in the first line, the third measure in the right hand, you have here 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You can take out the tie if you need to. 1 and 2. That'll help. Then eventually put it back in. Now, it doesn't help so much to wait until you hear somebody else do it first and you say, oh, I get it, and then do it. Try and figure it out yourself and see if you can get it yourself without having to hear it first. And that's the challenge. And that's what I would challenge you to do. Of course, you're going to hear it now anyway, and I'm sure there's recordings of this all over the place. But the rhythm in this might be a little different than in the recordings you're hearing. So try and work out this rhythm first, if you can, on your own. Before you play it with me, you're supposed to have already learned it, all right? Because you're only playing it with me to check to make sure you have the right notes and the right rhythms, all right? So learn it first, then come back and play it with me. The only time the left hand is not playing a steady beat or whole notes is when it has a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note. You get that, for instance, in the second line, the last measure. Okay, you got a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It helps a little bit because the right hand happens to be playing a note at that time, so you can play it with the right hand. What you do not do is play it on the third beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and. No, that's not it. 1. No. Play it on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and. Okay. That happens in several places. Just be sure you get that. The fermatas, I will double the value of the note, whatever it is. All right. If it was a dotted half note, I'll hold it 6. If it's a half note, I'll hold it 4. And that's only because I'm playing with a metronome. Bring out the melody. It's the top note in the right hand. 4/4 time, C major, no sharps or flats. I don't even see any accidentals in here, so you're using all white notes. All right, let's try it together. I'll give you 4 counts, and we'll play it slowly, slowly. Right hand here, left hand here, no pedal. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, four, off.